Thank you, thank you. My name is Djahjah. I'm here representing ABOTTs. ABOTTs is the Association of Brazilian and Latin American OTT and Streaming. We're more than an association. I would say we're a community. And I'm going to take this a little bit to a way on, we're talking a lot about consumers, how streaming works, how it gets out to the customer. But in this case, we're going to talk a little bit more about B2B, how we can associate ourselves and work together as companies, as vendors, as suppliers, as streaming platforms, as consumers, as business. And basically, that's what we do. So my name is Djahjah. I'm the Director of Partnerships at ABOTTs. I'm a ex-Paramount, ex-Sony, ex-Amazon, ex-husband, ex-machina, ex-man, all those other things as well. And I want to thank you guys for the time, and thank you especially Andy and all the team here at Streaming Media for this opportunity. And we're looking to do more and more partnerships as this. Let me get the click and let me get this going. So I'll steal a quote from yesterday, which I liked. It's very good, but I'll do a slight modification. I love this quote from yesterday. By the way, great panels. I'm here to make friends because my career as a supermodel didn't work, so that's why I came to TV. So I had to try to make it a little bit different. So let's talk about in a little bit of a context, why Latin America is important for streaming. So when we think about consumers and we think about audiences and engagement, size of markets, many times, and thank God there were a lot of good presentations we had here at Streaming Media this year that talked about international streaming, not just about the US market. So there is EMEA, there's APAC, there's China, there's all these different things that are not just tendencies that come into US, but also how can we take these abroad. I want to give you guys a little bit of context of what is happening in Latin America and why it is so much, how it's becoming so important, and how all of us should think about that from a business perspective, not only from a consumer-based perspective. So KPIs, right? Let's start with that. AVOD, OTT, CAGR, now we have C2PA, C3PO, OPP, yeah, you know me. There's too many acronyms. The truth is, there's just three big numbers from a business perspective that we have to look at to see what really makes sense. When you're looking at your business, when you're looking at a streaming platform and you're looking at your technology that you're trying to sell into a country and trying to get associations and partnerships, there's just three big numbers that you have to look at them together. Never look at them from one perspective. We're talking about revenue, we're talking about scale, because those two impact cost and profit, and we're talking about market share. So at the end of the day, what really matters, and we want to look at this in a deeper perspective before I show you guys what ABOTTs can do and what ABOTTs can help each and one of us to create more business for our own activities. I did a little get-together here of three perspectives to show the importance of Latin America when we look at those three angles: revenue, scale, and our market share. So check this out. Number one, look at the movie business. If you look at the movie business, these are all sources from 2023, 2024. If we look at the movie business from a revenue perspective, US only contributes 26% of the total revenue that comes from big blockbusters that travel internationally. So it's impressive. And of course, a lot of you guys are going to look at the number in the 74% and they say, okay, there's China in there. China is a big component. But by the way, it has been decreasing in the last years due to a lot of local production from Chinese movies and a lot of regulation, a lot of political situations that does not help the movies to get into China. Well, look at LATAM. LATAM is 8%. When we take that to the viewership perspective, we're talking about 7 to 10% from Latin America, and pretty much the same proportion within the US versus rest of the world. So always look at things from different angles. It is pretty proportional from the 8% to the 7 to 10. Then the two other comparisons I wanted to bring just as a fast glimpse is, let's look at the leaders of mature platforms that are in the market. I didn't want to bring 5 or 6 different streamers and how they were doing their activities in Latin America or in EMEA or in APAC, because these all are different moments and they're all in different phases and they all have different offerings in their local markets. So if you look at just at Netflix, let's look at them as the SVOD leader and more mature in the market that started their international expansion 2010 to 2011. So if you look at their numbers, you'll see that US is 45%. Rest of the world has become very significant for the Netflix model. And remember, they're not in China, so that takes a big chunk of their business over there. But still, you have a very big proportion there in LATAM at 12%. And if you look at the viewership, you have 18%. So when you consider the numbers of looking into the Netflix results of a successful show, Latin America brings in a big chunk of that viewership to define if a show is a success or not. So that also is very important. Fact, that's not there. I didn't want to put too many numbers there, not overwhelm everybody. But if you look at the ARPU, average revenue per user, Netflix today, and this is in their quarterly reports, it's no secret, it's all public information, LATAM is already half of what is US. So when a company takes their ARPU from 1/3 to 1/5 when they're in expansion phase to about a half, that means the more users with a good engagement they have in that region, they become very good subscribers with a good return on investment. Lastly, let's look at the AVOD. So again, let's look at the leader. Let's look at YouTube. How does YouTube do in Latin America? Again, very proportional. And again, we have all those factors that go in there, the CPMs, the advertising market, the fluctuations, what's happening in each market, US versus the rest of the world. But if you consider that Mexico and Brazil, so again, going back to LATAM, they're between the top 5 consuming markets for YouTube in the world. So if you're Mr. Beast and you have your shows dubbed into Portuguese or Spanish, that will help the business for YouTube, but as a content creators, as the creator market, that's very significant. So that also has to be put in account as well. So to make it a little bit more simple, let me show you guys in a brief video. It's about 3 minutes. This will be sweet and short. I'll show you guys what ABOTTs is and how we can work together and do partnerships and help our businesses, each and one another. Let's skip to video.
Streaming is no longer the future of media. It's the present. And Brazil, together with Latin America, is emerging as one of the key hubs of this transformation. ABOTTs was born to strengthen the OTT and streaming market. We connect companies, boost business, and create opportunities. And to ensure a sustainable industry, we also engage in essential agendas, such as working with government, fighting piracy, and giving voice to the future of the industry. Our community brings together the entire value chain: content producers, streaming platforms, advertising agencies, technology, data, universities, government, ISPs, associations, and even the gaming world. Here, every voice matters. And from this community comes our ecosystem, actions that turn this vision into reality. Nothing stands alone. Each effort strengthens the other, forming a living and integrated ecosystem, one that constantly feeds itself and keeps ABOTTs in motion and evolution. From this ecosystem emerge our initiatives and products, each with a unique and connected role. ABOTTs Cast, already available on pay TV and streaming AVOD. ABOTTs Series with webinars, training, and global executive interviews. ABOTTs Academy with its 3 hubs: education, meeting, and awards. And Streaming Ladies, an initiative that champions women in the industry, empowering them, creating opportunities, and connecting our community with global movements such as Rise in Europe and Women in Streaming Media in the US, strengthening a worldwide network of collaboration and female empowerment within the ABOTTs ecosystem. Also, work groups, meeting bi-weekly to discuss metrics, information, FAST, and anti-piracy. TUC, supporting professionals of our industry and career transition, now powered by ABOTTs. And lastly, Casa ABOTTs, ABOTTs House in São Paulo, a studio rooftop that became the industry's meeting point to network. We work side by side with strategic data and research partners such as Comscore and Fabric, which bring reliability to all our initiatives. We also collaborate with leading media partners in Latin America in our industry, such as Abril, one of Brazil's largest media groups, and this amplifies our voice throughout the region. This strong foundation drives us to go further and expand our reach. We are expanding with new connections in Argentina and Mexico. Streaming Ladies will have ambassadors in each country of the region, as well as representatives in Europe and the United States. The future of streaming will be built by connection, collaboration, and innovation. And ABOTTs is here to lead that journey. And this is still the beginning. More than an association, we're a community that believes in the power of streaming to transform businesses, careers, and lives. ABOTTs, united by OTT and streaming.
Back here. So takeaways. My father used to tell me this, nothing ends with a period. Always put a comma if there's still more things to say. And there is more things to say. If you look at the Latin American market today, we're talking about a young audience, very mobile, connected. 80% of the urban internet is already broadband, so we have a huge consumption. The consumption of video in LATAM, as far as watch time, is about 40% more than other regions. So again, you're talking about huge potential for expansion, engagement, and untapped revenues. Fast is growing in the last double digits in the last 3 years. Take it from me, I was Pluto for the last 5 years in my career. So I know the big numbers that come out of there, and they're very important of what's working down there. And you have a 10% CAGR projected by 2028. So this is how we work. What we want to do is work with you guys and make LATAM not just an additional region, but an essential region for all of your businesses. So we're a community, ABOTTs. You come in together, you associate ourselves. We're an NGO, we're not working for profit. What we're trying to do is get business connections and create results. So partners, engagement, this is what we want to do, work with you guys, not on the short term, but on the long term, so we can all expect growth. And that's it. I would like to thank you guys. Thank you again, Andy, and thank you everybody for your time. Have a great time. Thank you. For break, probably it's going to be Colombian or Brazilian or Costa Rica coffee out there. So.
Thank you, Daniel, for that look at the LATAM market. I found it very, very interesting and lots of new information I wasn't aware of.